Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia and I make sewing tutorials and PDF patterns, and today I have a new pattern for you, the confetti frock. I made this last year for my birthday and you guys loved it, I loved it, and so I have since graded the pattern, tested it with multiple testers. There's a few style variations, so definitely head over to my website lydianaomi.com and you can get the pattern there. Today I will be walking you through style B with the straps, and style A with the puff sleeves are in the other video on my channel. So I hope you enjoy. Please read the Read First file for measurements and supply details, as well as the comprehensive adjustment guide. I'm sewing a size 8 in linen fabric, and the included seam allowance is 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters everywhere, unless otherwise mentioned. Now let's start sewing. Before you even cut, you'll notice a couple of guidelines on the pattern pieces, such as on pieces 1, 2, and 3. Since we're sewing style B, you need to fold back pieces 2 and 3 at the guidelines and then just leave piece 1 as is, and you'll notice that they will fit together perfectly. If you plan to use the ruffle hem, you're going to fold back the pattern piece at the front skirt guideline, and you're going to place your pattern piece on the fold of the fabric, measure 18 inches from the bottom edge to get the full floor length piece, then cut it out, and don't forget to cut a shallow notch at the top. And for the back piece, you're just going to unfold that guideline and cut the full width. My particular fabric width wasn't quite as wide. It was about 1.5 inches or 2 inches short, but I just went with it and it turned out great. To prep some of your pieces, start by overlocking the bottom edges of your front and back facings. If you are sewing the ruffle hem, overlock just the side edges of the front and back ruffle pieces. Next, stay stitch along the bust cutout on the main skirt and the facing, and you're going to stitch at 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter. That's just inside the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and that's going to help with bust cup application later. Apply fusible interfacing to the wrong sides of the shoulder straps and fold in half lengthwise, wrong sides together. Next, fold right sides together and sew at the 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter seam allowance. Then trim the seam allowance and turn it out. I like to use a safety pin for this, and just press it and the straps are complete. Take your 4 bust cut pieces and pin the darts on the wrong sides of each of the 4 bust cut pieces. And when you actually sew the dart, you're going to extend your stitch 1/2 inch past the dart end drill hole marking. And don't backstitch, rather knot the ends of the thread so that it doesn't unravel when sewing together. Press the darts inward for one mirrored pair and outward for the other mirrored pair so that the dart bulk doesn't overlap when the bust cups are sewn together later. Once this is done, and with 2 mirrored pieces of your bust cups facing right side up, place your shoulder straps at the notches and pin in place. I like to have the strap seam towards the inside. Then place your other pair of bust cups over this, right sides together, and pin in place. Sew from the armhole across the strap, around the tie area, and finish at the bottom, leaving the curved edge and side seam open. Trim down the seam allowance from the bottom up to the elastic notch, and also trim the armhole. Clip the curves under the tie and around the armhole so that it will lay flat when you turn it out. Place your 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter wide elastic just a 1/2 inch past the elastic notch and pin in place. And you're going to find your lengths in the chart in the Read First file on page 7. The elastic length there needs to be cut in half, and each half will be used for each bust cup. Stretch the elastic to fit the area as you sew a zigzag stitch, which will retain the stretchiness of the elastic. And as you can see, you're sewing the elastic just beside the stitch in the seam allowance. Turn out and press. And as you can see here, the dart bulk doesn't overlap, which reduces the amount of fabric to sew through. Less bulky is always good when sewing. And then just close the opened area with a stitch about 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the edge. Now we're going to take the dress front and pinch the darts on the wrong side of the fabric, matching the notches, matching the drill markings, and also pinning at the tip. And you're going to sew from notch to waist drill hole and then 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters beyond the dart end. Again, do not backstitch, rather knot the ends of the thread. And then you're going to press the dart bulk towards the center. We're going to clip along the curve of the facing and the dress front up to the stay stitch, but before doing this, mark the notch on the facing first so that you don't forget where it is. That helps you line it up to the darts on the bodice and the dress front. Clipping the curves really allows you to shape around the curve of the bust cup. So definitely don't skip this step, it makes it so much easier. Pin the bust cups to the bust cutout of the dress front. The inner edge of the seam should line up with the drill markings at the center of the dress front. Line up the dart seams on the bust cup and dress front and then the sides, and then you just fill in the rest with pins and just make sure it's really accurately pinned together. Note that there will be about 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter gap in the center. Then you're going to sew this at the 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter seam allowance. And make sure that as you sew, you keep checking and adjusting so that you don't sew in any puckers. Once this is done, you can then pin the right side of the facing to the inside of the bust cup line, lining it up at the drill holes, notches, and edges, just as you did with the dress front, and pin the gaps in place, and you just sew in the same way to enclose the bust cup seam. Trim the inner 2 layers of the seam allowance when you're finished, and then you can turn out and press. Finish by overlocking both sides of the assembled front dress, including the facing as you sew. We are now moving on to the back panels. So take your 3 back panels and you're going to pin the side panels to the center back panel, right sides together, match the waist and hip notches and the top and bottom, and sew both seams. Then overlock them together and press the seams towards the center of the garment. Now, with the right side of the front dress assembly facing the right side of the back, pin the free ends of the straps at the notches on the assembled dress back. Next, place the back facing right sides together to the back dress and pin it together. Place some twill tape over the sew line of the center curve and pin it in place. This will keep the back neckline from potentially stretching and gaping with wear. Sew together starting at the armhole, then go across the strap, around the curve, and then across the other strap and finishing at the other armhole. Trim down the armholes and neck seam allowances and then clip these curves before turning out. And you're going to understitch these seams next. Understitching is when you sew the seam allowance to the facing at about 1/16 or a few millimeters from the seam. Since you won't be able to get the stitch all the way to the shoulder straps, You can stop your stitch about an inch or a few centimeters from the strap areas. Next, you're going to overlock the sides of the back dress assembly, but keep the facing folded out so that it's overlocked apart from the dress. This is the point at which you will add the hem ruffle if you plan to. So ensure that the center notch is marked at the top of the front and back ruffle hem pieces, and sew a double row of basting stitches across the top of each piece. Fold the dress hem in half to find the center and clip a small notch. I like to pin the centers of the dress hem and ruffle, then gather each side to match the hem. Next, I place right sides together and pin in place. I start with the center, then the outer edges, and then I fill in the gaps with lots of pins. Do this for both the front and back. And then sew it together. Either you can sew with the gathers underneath like I did here, but for the back I decided to sew with the gathers on top, and I find that I like that a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to keep the gathers straight. After sewing, you can just remove those gathering stitches and then overlock these seams to finish, and then just finger press the seams up, and it is now ready to sew up the side seam. With right sides together, place the front and back of the dress together only on one side. Pin together at the waist, hip, and ruffle seam. Wrap the back facing over the front at the armhole. This will enclose the top of the side seam. And you're going to sew that up. And to press the seam open, you can clip the front seam allowance at the bottom of the back facing so that you can press open the seam. We are leaving the other side seam open for the zipper construction. With the invisible zipper nib lined up with the top of the armhole seam, pin one side in place all the way down until you get to the hip notch, because that's where we're going to stop sewing. Using your invisible zipper foot, sew this in place. And remember that the seam allowance is a 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters. My zipper tape was only 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter wide, so I moved it in 1/8 to ensure that I'm sewing at the 1/2 inch seam allowance. For the seam on the front side of the dress, fold the zipper tape behind the seam allowance. Then fold the seam allowance back and tack in place. You can set your zigzag stitch width to 2 millimeters and the length to 0, and this will do a really nice, tiny but strong tack. Next, you're going to zip up the zipper and mark the waist notch and the end point on the unsewn side of the zipper. Align the zipper at these points on the other seam and sew in place. Finish the back side by tucking the top of the zipper tape out of the way and flipping the right side of the facing around the top of the zipper, lining it up with the side seam of the dress. Then you're going to sew this with a regular zipper foot, and don't go too close to the zipper teeth, otherwise it will be difficult to zip up. Once you're done this, you can turn it out and it's just such a nice clean finish. Zip up the zipper and use a regular zipper foot to sew from the zipper end to the hem. I sewed from the hem to the zipper because I can get closer to the end of the stitch like that. Just make sure that the fabric doesn't shift forward and then you got one side slightly longer and you end up with a bit of a pucker. Then I don't like to cut the tail of the zipper because I find it just kind of sticks out, especially on lighter fabrics. So I just leave the tail and I tack it to the seam allowance on either side. Press this last seam open and then we're going to finish the hem. I'm finishing the hem by folding up a 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters and pressing it in place all along the hem. And then I head to the sewing machine and I fold it another 1/4 inch again as I sew. And with that, you are finished the dress. And I would love to see what you make. Please share with me on social media by using my hashtag ConfettiFrock and tag me at Lydia Naomi Studio so that I can see and share it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you really enjoy your confetti frock.